Welcome back to Mob Genius TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done it, because we're trying our best to provide you some of the best content that's out there right now in the car community, especially in the lowrider and the slab community. So the last video that we dropped has, let's just say, was slightly controversial and has gotten a lot of comments and gotten a lot of DMs and things like that that I wanted to address. And so I'm gonna call this video an open appeal to the guys from LSD Customs and Tito to have a final and decisive hop off. And this is why, and these are what I'm gonna have, I'm gonna give my opinions in this video as to why I think this should happen. The first and foremost thing I wanna say is that the fact that you're even listening to my opinion at all about anything low riding is kind of hilarious, because I mean, in case you haven't checked it out, I am a white guy from the burbs who has never low rided a day in his life. However, I do love the community. I lived in California for 3 years, and y'all know what a big deal low riding is in the California community. And I mean, I've just been in love with lowriders for years, and I've, only recently in the last couple of years have poured myself into the Houston lowrider scene, which I think has an amazing scene. And part of this amazing scene is a competition referred to as the King of the Streets, which was started by Gilbert, who is just a world-class guy, and I really truly respect everything that Gilbert has put together here, and frankly that he has to go through, because I think it's, part of it I think is entertaining, although I'm sure it probably frustrates him to no end. So that being said, like I said, take everything that I have to say with a grain of salt. However, I do have a few critical opinions that I want to give. And one other disclaimer I want to say is a lot of these barbs and jabs that you see going back and forth between the participants in this, I will say the Houston lowrider community is extremely professional and loves each other. We might have a little bit of fun with each other. There might be some jokes that Miguel runs or that Tito doesn't hit his own switch. But the reality of it is that these guys still shake hands. They're still professionals. There's no shade or whatever going on. The fact that, we can all sit and kind of laugh and joke about these sorts of things, I think is just a true testament to how professional the guys in the lowrider community here and how no drama it is. It might seem like a lot of drama, but really in the end, I take it as good-hearted, ribbing and joking related to these hops. So anyway, I want to walk through now my opinion about what happened. And in order to get to my opinion of what happened, I think we have to start with the very first hop I ever attended. The very first hop I ever attended was the hop in which Tito called out Miguel when Miguel was the current King of the Streets holder. At that time, Miguel had broken a ball joint the day before and was unable to hop. So despite the fact that he was unable to hop and just the very fact that he was called out and his car wasn't ready, Miguel gave the plaque up and forfeited his trophy with, by I think most all accounts, with no drama, no BS or any whatever or negative ill will. I mean, you can even see in one of the previous videos that I had, because I covered this on Mob Genius TV, they shook hands and Tito hopped someone else and Tito became the champion, and there was always, quote unquote, an asterisk by Tito's title because Miguel and Tito did not hop off, and basically Tito claimed the trophy because Miguel's car was not ready to go. Does that mean that Tito's car is not one of the best hoppers in town? Absolutely not. I would never, I would put Tito's car up against just about anybody. And, when it's on its best and when it's working and when he's hitting the switch right and all that other stuff that y'all want to say and whatever about him, that car can literally dang near touch the sky, and I've seen it time and time again. So, fast forward to the second hop. The second hop, ooh, the drama, the juiciness, it was all about, Tito had his trophy, but there was an asterisk, and the guys from LSD wanted to come and hop off, and so it was a big hop off at the TLM show. The problem with what happened at the TLM show is that Tito shows up, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it was approximately 2 to 2.5 hours late. And that alone caused quite a bit of controversy because there were other events going on that night that had to be paused because they wanted to do the King of the Streets hop first. And long story short, when Tito got there, he basically let everybody know, he was having motor issues and had another motor on the way, but was not given a chance to basically changed the motor and re-hopped Miguel. And of course, Miguel basically said at that night that he didn't have another motor on him after they tried to hop off and Miguel blew his motor. So whether that's true or not, hey, who knows? You know, I would suspect if you're going to hop for one of these in a parking lot full of lowriders, one of these championships, that you probably should bring at least 2 motors if you're serious. Now that's something I've learned, and that goes for Tito. You should have had that motor with you that day. And Miguel, I mean, come on now. I mean, I would bet money, if we're not all like whatever, that you probably had another motor that night. And I'm fine with how you guys are running your game. You guys are playing, LSD guys are playing the rules of the game the way it's provided. I don't think that, and we can fast forward right now to Hop 3. I don't think that Miguel was running or ducking anybody. Hey, the rules are that, you know, if you get challenged, you get there, you come there and hop off. Was he challenged? He didn't run from a challenger, but there's no rule that dictates that you have to sit there in the parking lot for hours on end in a parking lot full of lowriders and wait for someone to challenge you. I mean, hey, you know, you can call that running, ducking, whatever you call it. I call it smart. I call it playing the game right, and I certainly do not fault the guys at LSD for any of that. Hey, no way. So the most controversial part of the video that's gotten the most attention is something that I personally did not even see or realize at the time it was happening, despite the fact that I was standing probably in the best spot to capture all this action than anybody, was the allegations that supposedly the gentleman from LSD pushed down on Miguel's car to make it hop higher in the 3rd round against the challenger from Baytown. So, and shout out to Carlos from Baytown, because man, you came hard that night, and I don't think anyone can take anything away from you. And you know, I think you're going to have another legitimate, honest I think you're going to be making a name in this championship for a while. So, is that cheating? Is pushing down on the car cheating? Now, if they were torquing it, like pushing it hard, I think we would all agree that that's probably going to give an unfair advantage. Now, when I slow the video down, I'm gonna let y'all go back, because I'm not gonna edit it into this one, because y'all gonna have to go back and watch the other video. I ain't gonna be lazy and do it for you. If you watch the video later on that night when the allegations get made, I slow it down to approximately 10% speed. And what you see are 3 fingers on one side pushing down, or excuse me, 2 sets of hands with 3 fingers, and 2 sets of hands with 3 fingers on. In other words, I don't see like palms of hands like pushing like you would expect if you wanted to get maximum torque on something. But, you know, the question I cannot answer for the viewers is, does having just those 3 fingers and a little bit, like, you know, if something's on a counterweight, and this is again where my knowledge of lowriders or lack of knowledge of how lowriders hop comes into play, but you know, I would suspect that, you know, having extra weight in the trunk, I would suspect that, you know, things that might, anything that might give just a little bit of momentum downward might help, might. However, I would say this, from standing where I was standing, it did not look like they were torquing down on that. And the sad part about this is you see me, because I pan and I get just the last second when Miguel bumper checks, and you know, so I only get like a brief little bit of what's happening, so I don't know if it tells the whole story. And you know, hey, who knows? I mean, the joke, you know, and you can hear me joking about it the entire video, is that it seems like there's always an asterisk here in Houston with these lowrider hop-offs. And this is where I want to end the video. The video ends right here, guys, with a plea. I'm challenging you both. I'm challenging Tito and I'm challenging LSD Customs to hop off in a decisive way. I'm challenging you both to bring an extra motor. I'm challenging you, Tito, to show up on time and hit your own switch. I'm challenging LSD to basically not do anything that anybody's gonna question there. I mean, let's have a decisive hop off. Let's have something where no one walks away with any questions. Hands get shaked, and it gets meant that you are the king of the streets. And right now, Miguel is the king of the streets. Make no doubt about that. Miguel is the defending king of the streets. And Tito, you can say what you want, but this, you know, hey, the rules seem simple enough. Make the challenge. And that's why I'm here for. I'm challenging you both. The most non-low riding guy in the low riding community is coming out right now and is telling my good friends at LSD Customs and my good friend Tito, it's time. It's time to give us a decisive hop off. The people in this city want it, and we got to make this easy. And enough with all the chitter chatter, guys. Let's go and let's do it. I appreciate everybody for tuning into this episode. And hey, kick a comment down below and let me know what you think. And you know, we're gonna hopefully have I guess what will be round 4 of probably the hottest street competition here in Houston, featured on the channel whenever we can get it. Tune in soon.